Hey mathematicians, Caitlin Henderson here, and welcome to another lesson intro video. For this lesson, we are going to be working in Unit 7 and introducing coordinate geometry. We're going to explain what coordinate geometry is. We're going to explain some of the concepts needed for this unit, as well as how and when we use coordinate geometry in the everyday life. So let's get started in explaining what is coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry is the study of geometric shapes and concepts on a coordinate plane. So in prior units, we have used coordinate locations or ordered pairs. We've done transformations, we've drawn figures, right? In this image that we have here, we have the translation of a triangle from one location to the other, right? We have used coordinates, and we have used a coordinate plane, which is this kind of grid that we have here, many times prior to this unit, but we're just kind of formally explaining it and using it now. So basically, if you're working on a graph, you're using a coordinate plane, and you're doing geometry on that coordinate plane, you are working with coordinate geometry. Now, why is it important? When do we use it? Two of the most common occurrences of a coordinate plane or using coordinate geometry is in GPS and computer graphics. So if you want to be a graphic designer, maybe you want to design video games, right? Working on a coordinate plane is something that is necessary when we are doing that, thinking of the ratios and things like that within the graphics is important. So video game design, CAD, 3D modeling, you're going to be working on a coordinate plane and most likely working with coordinate geometry specifically. GPS, so things like Google Maps, sonar, LiDAR, cartography, right? Working with maps. These are all things that also work on a coordinate plane, and you may also need to use coordinate geometry in those areas, those fields. So if those are things you're interested in, it is going to first and foremost affect your life. However, I would argue that most of us use some kind of Google Maps system, so it's kind of cool to understand how we figure out distance and time and all of that, which is coordinate geography or geometry. So prior knowledge, things that you are going to need to know how to do in this unit to be successful. Reading coordinates, plotting coordinates. We've been working with this a lot, but please make sure that you understand it because it is the most common mistake. Reading a number line, a coordinate plane, or is just basically a series of number lines. So making sure that you can understand that if I have a line here, right, in increments of 1 or increments of 2, that I'm able to add, subtract, and use this. Understanding roots and square roots. We are going to continue working with the Pythagorean Theorem, so understanding how those work. So once again, Pythagorean Theorem, we talked about it last unit. We're going to continue to talk about it. We're going to dive into area and perimeter. We're going to talk a lot about the distance formula and using area and perimeter in our coordinate geometry. So make sure that you remember and kind of understand that. When it comes to area and perimeter, we usually use shapes, right? So know your shapes. We're going to be using a lot of the shapes that we used last unit, so make sure that you understand all the different types of shapes and their characteristics. And then we have talked about midpoint and slope of a parallel and perpendicular line, but just know that that is also going to be used in this unit. Now, if you are fuzzy on any of these topics, I am going to link videos both down below in this video as well as our lesson intro pages so that you can go in and watch a couple of videos maybe and refresh on these topics. If you need help, remember to always reach out. Anyways, guys, that is the end of this video. I am very excited to start a new unit with you. Reach out again if you have any questions, and until next time.